They only run because you're chasing. They only resist because you're begging. And they only disobey because you forgot the first rule of power: never appear to need anyone. Machiavelli didn't just write about rulers and politics. He wrote about human nature, and he understood something most people are too afraid to accept. The one who cares less controls more. When you chase, you put them on a pedestal. You elevate their importance. You declare, you are the prize. And in doing so, you disqualify yourself from power. But when you step back, when you detach, when you stop trying to convince them, they feel it. They notice the silence, the absence, the control. Machiavelli knew people are not loyal out of love. They're loyal out of necessity, fear and advantage. He wrote, "It is much safer to be feared than loved, if one must choose, because love is conditional. It fades, it forgets. But fear obeys, fear respects, fear waits." You think chasing shows loyalty. You think persistence is romantic. But in Machiavellian reality, it's weakness. The lion doesn't beg the sheep. The king doesn't pursue the traitor. The powerful don't explain, they act. You want their attention, their respect, their obedience. Walk away, not out of pettiness, out of power. Because when you stop chasing, you create mystery. When you stop validating, you become rare. And when you stop caring, they start questioning everything. They ask, did I lose them? Why aren't they fighting for me? Was I not enough? And in that spiral of doubt, they obey. Not with chains or commands, but with the terror of losing something they never fully had. You flip the dynamic. Now you're the enigma. Now you're the prize. Machiavelli said, men judge more by the eye than by the hand. They believe what they see. So stop chasing. Start building silence. Start becoming scarce. Start moving like someone who doesn't need them. Because that's when they need you. Obedience doesn't come from force. It comes from absence, from scarcity, from cold, calculated control. So next time you want them to stay, don't chase, don't cry, don't beg, just disappear and watch them crawl back. They say if you love something, you chase it until it's yours. But Machiavelli saw the truth others won't say out loud. Chasing is weakness disguised as desire. When you chase, you show your hand. You reveal your hunger. You become predictable. And predictability is the death of power. People don't respect those who bend over backwards. They exploit them. They walk all over them. They take without giving. Power belongs to the cold, the indifferent, the ones who never show how much they care. Machiavelli wrote, "The wise man does at once what the fool does finally." Meaning, don't waste time begging for respect. Take it by becoming someone who doesn't need it. The moment you stop chasing, you become the prize. You become the force they want to tame but can't touch. And that fear of losing you, is what bends their will. Because humans obey those who don't chase them. Not out of love, but because they don't want to lose control. And losing control to someone indifferent is terrifying. Stop running after approval. Stop begging for attention. Stop making yourself small. Walk away like you own the world. Because in the game of power, you do. Power is not given. It is seized in silence. It is held in the space where others expect you to show weakness, and you show none. When you stop chasing, you send a message that shakes their entire world. You stop being a desperate echo in their life. You become a ghost they can't forget. Machiavelli taught rulers to use absence as a weapon, because when something becomes scarce, it becomes valuable. Your presence is a currency, and like any currency, its value drops if it's printed too much. Chasing is like flooding the market with cheap coins. It makes you worthless, but withdrawing, stepping back, becoming scarce, this is how you regain your power. This is how you make them chase you. They will try to fill the silence with noise, with excuses, with promises. Ignore it, because the moment you respond, you lower your price again. In their panic, they will reveal their true colors: desperation, greed, insecurity. Watch carefully. This is when the weak fall apart and the strong rise. The strong do not rush to soothe broken egos. They let the chaos unfold, because chaos belongs to the desperate. Control belongs to the calm. When they start obeying, it's not because you begged for their loyalty. It's because you refuse to be owned by anyone. You carved out a space where your will is law, where your absence commands respect, where your silence breaks their arrogance. Machiavelli said, "Men in general judge more from appearances than from reality. All men have eyes, but few have the gift of penetration." Your withdrawal creates an appearance of strength, mystery, indifference, untouchability, and most people can't see past that. They assume power must come with noise and effort. But true power is quiet. It is the calm before the storm, the empty throne that commands loyalty without words, the chess master who waits while pawns rush blindly forward. When you stop chasing, you do not lose control. You take control, because the need to chase comes from fear. Fear of losing, fear of being replaced, fear of insignificance. And fear makes you weak. The moment you own your fear, the moment you accept that losing is part of the game, you become untouchable. You stop begging for scraps of attention, and suddenly the scraps become a feast. Why? Because people crave what they cannot have. They obey what they cannot control. The hungry dog barks loudest when its master turns away. The desperate lover calls only when ignored. The weak submit when the strong walk away. This is the lesson Machiavelli hammered into every ruler's mind. Power is the art of making others come to you, not the art of running after them. Chasing is a trap, a cage you build for yourself. It chains you to their approval. It makes your worth dependent on their willingness to stay. But freedom is walking away from toxic ties, walking away from false loyalties, walking away from people who only want you when it suits them. Because when you walk away, the game changes. They start calling, they start bending, they start obeying, not because you commanded it, not because you forced it, because they realize the cost of losing you. And the cost is terrifying. So here is the cold, ruthless truth. The more you chase, the weaker you become. The more you detach, the stronger you get. Machiavelli didn't sugarcoat it because life isn't sweet. Life is a battlefield where the careless die and the calculated thrive. If you want control, if you want obedience, if you want respect, learn the art of disappearance. Be the one who walks away without looking back. Be the one who stops chasing at exactly the moment they expect you to fight harder. Because power does not belong to those who scream the loudest. It belongs to those who know when to be silent. And in that silence, you become a force they cannot resist. Because absence is the sharpest form of presence. By now, you understand this isn't about arrogance or cruelty. It's about survival. It's about mastering the rules others refuse to see. When you stop chasing, you force others to reveal their true intentions. You expose the fair-weather friends, the opportunists, the weak-willed, because only the desperate will keep running after someone who walks away. The strong, they respect the silence. They honor the absence. They obey the power that does not beg. This is the real victory Machiavelli spoke of, not winning a battle, but winning the war of wills, the war where your strength is measured by how little you give away, where your value is defined by how much you withhold, where your absence writes the rules. If they obey you when you chase, that's not power, it's illusion. True power is when they obey because they must, because losing you means losing everything they thought they had. So never chase, never beg, never lower yourself to someone else's desperation. Remember, the throne belongs to those who are calm in chaos, who hold their ground while others crumble, who disappear when the herd charges and reappear as kings. Machiavelli knew this secret well. When you stop chasing, they start obeying, not because you demand it, but because you refuse to be caught. That's how power is built. That's how empires rise and fall. You are no pawn. You are the player. The moment you accept that, the moment you stop chasing, you begin to command obedience not with force, but with an unshakable presence. Be ruthless, be silent, be the one they cannot touch, because when you stop chasing, they start obeying. If you want to truly understand power, you must first abandon the illusions of fairness and kindness. The world does not revolve around your feelings or your desires. It revolves around influence, control, and the ability to shape outcomes without needing permission. Most people waste their energy chasing after things that will never be theirs: approval, love, loyalty, without realizing they are strengthening the very chains that bind them. The harder they chase, the weaker they become. This is why the greatest lesson Machiavelli left us is brutal but clear. You must cultivate the power to walk away without fear, not as a threat, but as a natural state of being. When you stop chasing, you reject the toxic cycle of dependence. You break free from the constant anxiety of needing validation. You become a force of nature that cannot be bargained with or owned. People obey the one who has the confidence to disappear, They respect the one who does not beg or plead, because in that absence, they see a truth they cannot deny. You are not theirs to command, and that realization terrifies them. They will try to pull you back, through promises, through guilt, through manipulation, but you must resist. Every step back you take is a step forward in power. Machiavelli understood that power is not about brute force alone. It is psychological warfare. It is the art of creating doubt and fear in the hearts of others. Fear that they might lose what they never truly possessed. When they realize you won't be there waiting forever, their entire mindset shifts. They scramble for your attention, not because you demand it, but because your absence creates a vacuum they cannot fill. This is the difference between respect and desperation. Respect is given to those who embody strength and independence. Desperation clings to those who show weakness and neediness. The choice is yours. You can be the person who chases endlessly, losing yourself in the process, or you can be the person who holds the leash, commanding from a place of calm and control. Imagine the power in that. Imagine walking away from toxic relationships without regret. Imagine setting boundaries so strong that others think twice before crossing them. Imagine becoming so self-sufficient that no one's opinion can shake your foundation. That is the power Machiavelli described. It is not given by chance or birthright. It is earned through discipline and ruthless clarity. But to reach that level, you must embrace discomfort. You must tolerate the silence that comes with withdrawal. You must face the loneliness that comes with independence, because chasing fills the void temporarily, but walking away fills it permanently with strength. This strength radiates in everything you do, in your gaze, in your posture, in your refusal to explain yourself. People notice, they sense the shift immediately, and they adjust their behavior accordingly. The ones worth keeping will rise to meet your level. The ones who were never loyal will disappear. And that is exactly how it should be, because your time, energy, and presence are your most valuable assets. You must protect them like a treasure. Stop giving them away to anyone who demands it. Stop chasing approval from those who don't deserve it. Become scarce, become silent, become untouchable, and watch how the world bends to your will. Machiavelli didn't just teach rulers how to govern kingdoms. He taught us how to govern ourselves, to master our desires, our fears, our actions. Power is not a gift you receive from others. It is a throne you claim by refusing to beg for a seat. So start walking away, not out of anger or spite, but because you know your worth, because you know the game, and you will never be the one chasing again. When you stop chasing, they start obeying. It's not a threat, it's a fact Machiavelli mastered, and now it's yours to wield. This is where most people fail, at the finish line, when they finally realize that power is not about endless pursuit. It's about knowing when to stop. Machiavelli understood that power is fluid, always shifting, and the one who controls that flow wins everything. Too many waste their energy running after approval, affection, or loyalty they will never fully receive. They tire themselves out, exposing their vulnerabilities and handing their strength away piece by piece. But the sharp, the calculating, and the truly powerful, they understand that power isn't found in clinging. It is found in letting go. Walking away is a strategy, not a surrender. It demands more courage than the relentless chase. This is not about ego or pride. It's about control. Control over yourself, over your emotions, over the game itself. When you pull back, you disrupt the pattern. You create tension where there was complacency. You create uncertainty where there was predictability. And people don't like uncertainty. They fear it. That fear becomes your leverage. They scramble to fill the void you leave behind, often without even realizing why. Their scramble reveals their priorities, weaknesses, and true intentions. You gain insight and power by simply refusing to be available. Absence creates value because it removes comfort. Comfort breeds disrespect. Disrespect breeds irrelevance. You don't want to be irrelevant. You want to be the one who holds the reins, not the one tugged along helplessly. Machiavelli's lesson is clear. Master the art of calculated withdrawal. Be deliberate in your disappearances. Never be too accessible. The world will chase what they cannot catch. They will obey what they fear losing. They will respect what they cannot own. This is a cold truth, but it is the reality of human nature. To survive and thrive in this world, you must embrace it fully. Strength is not measured by how loudly you shout or how fast you run after others. Strength is measured by how patiently you wait, how quietly you observe, how coldly you act when it matters most. When you stop chasing, you force others to see your value without you having to tell them. You become the prize by becoming the absence. It is the ultimate power move, silent, confident, unyielding. So next time you feel the urge to chase someone's approval, consider what you gain and what you lose. Are you gaining respect or sacrificing your dignity? Are you strengthening your position or weakening your foundation? Stop chasing. Start commanding your own presence. Walk away from what no longer serves you. Withdraw your energy from those who take without giving. Create scarcity with your time and attention. Watch how they adjust. Watch how their attitude shifts when you refuse to be their backup plan. This isn't just about relationships. It's about your entire life. Your career, your friendships, your ambitions. Power is everywhere. And those who master the dynamics of pursuit and withdrawal control it all. Machiavelli's words still ring true. He who wishes to be obeyed must know how to command. But true command is not loud or desperate. It is quiet and assured. It is the calm eye in the storm of chaos. You become the ruler of your world when you understand this principle deeply. The moment you refuse to chase is the moment you become untouchable. Because the world respects what it cannot control, it fears what it cannot have, and it obeys what it cannot break. If this message challenges you, if it shakes the foundation of how you've been playing the game, then embrace it. Transform your mindset, sharpen your strategy, take your rightful place as the one who commands without begging. And when you do, when you truly stop chasing, others will start obeying. That is the ruthless reality Machiavelli wanted you to know. If you're ready to step into this power, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because this channel is your source for the hard truths about control, influence, and mastery, lessons that will make you unstoppable. Remember, power is never given. It is taken by those who refuse to chase, and your time to take it is now.